Hello and welcome to Bloke on the Range. Live range, lots of noise, nothing I can do about it. Anyway, what I thought we would do today, given that we've got the opportunity, is we'll take this late Sterling-made ArmaLite AR-180 with a Stormvex mount and a primary arms 3-power microprism. I love these. These are very, very good. And see what it can do at 300 meters. Now, this particular one, from the factory, it has a welded fixed buttstock. It doesn't fold. This actually fixes one of my complaints about this this rifle, and that's the wobbly buttstock. Oops, somebody's rifle has fallen down off the rack over the back there. Now, so the TLDR on the AR-18 military version, AR-180 civilian semi-auto version, is that ArmaLite granted Colt an exclusive license to the Stoner direct impingement integrated into the bolt and carrier group gas system. Now, when you license something like that and it's exclusive, you often don't retain your own rights to it. So once that took off for Colt in the 60s, ArmaLite were like, oh, okay, we need our own product to compete with the thing that we're getting licensing revenue from Colt for, that they're selling by that point relatively successfully. I mean, this thing, they started development on this, I believe, before the US military's one-time buy of 104,000, but it's after the Air Force had bought several tranches of them, of AR-15s. Now, this wasn't the first one. What they did first was the AR-16, which is basically a bigger version of this in 7.62 NATO, 308 Winchester, and this is the 223 version, because once it was clear that 223 had taken off, then it was a good idea. So, because they couldn't use the Stoner gas system, it's got what's broadly an SVT-40 gas system with a vent. The SVT-40 doesn't have a vent. Fairly conventional, but it's an all-stamped design, and in fact in the early ones, even like practically every single part on the thing that can be stamped is stamped, including the hammer. And this hammer is stamped as well, but this has a machined selector, although the ambidex lever on the other side is in fact stamped as well. So it feels a lot cheaper. It's not quite an inline construction, it's almost close. It does actually shoot very flat, and basically, although this wasn't a hugely successful design in and of itself, its derivatives are. Almost everything piston-driven on the market that's not AK derived is this derived. Everything with a rotating bolt in 223. So the famous derivative being, of course, the L85 SA80. So, okay, I will stop blathering. Maybe I'll blather a bit more. Or maybe I'll save it for tabletop. So, the magazines, they're AR-15 style, but with a different mounting system. It's on the right. There's no over-insertion stop. The reason for that is to keep the button, mag release button, in the same place for the user, but then not having to have machine parts going all the way through. It's very simple, so it's on the right. So, ammo-wise, pretty plain vanilla. Fiocchi 55 grain. Let's have a 1 in 12 twist. So 55 grain is what it's sort of set up for. Some commercial 62 should run fine. NATO ball will not, because it's too long because of the core. So, right, let us see what it can do. I have zeroed it, more or less. It is not a free flow, it's quite a light barrel. These are very light and handy. And let's have a look at what we can pull out of it in terms of a group size. So, not 3, not 5, but 10 round group. Here we go. Okay, so as usual, I have adopted the British policy of resting the hand next to the rifle, so that I'm not doing something to the rifle that it wouldn't do if held normally. Because non-free floats can vary quite a lot, depending on how they're held. So, this has a BDC reticle, but the easiest thing for me to do is to aim at the head of the figure target, and the fore-ring in the middle is 20 centimeters, which is about 2.3-ish. I'll put the real number down the bottom. What's interesting there is that that one went off a bit. There's a bit of flex, and I felt that flex when I fired it. Let's try and avoid that. There we go. Now, there is no manual hold open, although you can reach in and press it like that. So, first impression, there's a few flyers there. This is Fiocchi ammo, so yeah. Not spectacular. That flex, sometimes I feel it, and that seemed to correlate to the flyers. What I think I'll do is I'll put another 10 through it, and see what's going on there, and I'll try very hard to avoid the receiver flex. The rail here, there's an integral rail, it's welded on, it's kind of a wedge shape, and there's a big spring in there. It's wedged on quite heavily, and recoil helps wedge it on further. The mount is solid. I have no complaints about that, but the upper to lower fit is a little wobbly. And the trigger, it's single stage. You can tell it's pressed metal. It's a long way from a match trigger. It's not great. Anyway. Okay, I've reset the box. Let's put another 10 down, focusing on really keeping the upper very, very stable. Perhaps I'll reach forward a bit further. Smooth action there. Well, I don't know why that opened up in the middle there, so what I think I'm going to do... my floor plate's coming off. I'm going to put another 5 down, but the Mirage is coming up quite a lot. I've only put 20 rounds through it. No, okay. So with a bit of heat in it, that's opened up massively. The first 10 rounds were perfectly adequate. The second 10 are really starting to open up. Is it fine militarily? Probably. Maybe, but some of those flyers are quite substantial. That is disappointing. The other thing is, it would be useful to be able to mount this a little bit lower, but with the mount set that it comes with, I can't without removing the rear sight. I think I've got a slight cheek weld. It's better in positions other than prone, but yeah, that's quite big height over butt there. So a cheek pad or being able to mount it low would be good. I did a few years back shoot Ian of Forgotten Weapons' AR-180, I believe it was a Costa Mesa one, Californian one, in, or was it an hour? Anyway, it can only be a Sterling hour or a ArmaLite Costa Mesa one. And with the original 2 and 3/4 power scope, and that was marvellous. I don't think on a brutality match I'd have noticed those flyers. But the advantage of the facilities we've got here are that we've got basically paper reaction. We can see exactly where all the shots are going, which is kind of cool and something that unique that we've got in this facility. Well, being in Switzerland, having access to this kind of range, that's something we do differently at Bloke on the Range. Now, oh yeah, that's warm. Light barrels, get warm, start throwing flyers. Anyway, that's the take home. So, thank you so much for watching. If you support us already, thank you so much. If you would like to support us, there's all sorts of links in the description below as to how you can. All support greatly considered. Thank you very, very much. It is chilly here. It is above freezing, but it's damp, a bit mildly moist. And on that note, I will see you again sometime. Bye.